What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. If you're not aware of what's happening, we currently live in the United States of Israel. And if we want to change as people, we have to purge the United States of Israel. We actually have the power to do it. It's just that we don't know how to wield our power, right? Because currently, right now, let me tell you why this is important that we all get up and vote. And we don't just vote out the Republicans, but we also vote out the Democrats, right? We need to vote out all those old geezers that's been in politics for 20, 30, 40 years. All of them are compromised. They do not work for the American people. Did you know that there's a bill being passed for Americans, our American tax dollars, whether you white, black, Asian, Indian, it doesn't matter. So we are going to be paying for premium top flight health insurance for all the IDF soldiers, both active and retired. You hear what I said? We're not only providing them with the bombs and bullets to commit genocide, but our tax dollars, the money that we work for every day, is also going to provide them with lifetime premium health care and benefit packages. Something that clearly we're not afforded to have, but we're going to take care of all of them, both past and present. Our supposed politicians that are elected by our people, they are taking care of the Israelis' terrorist organization before they take care of us. And Donald Trump is at the top of the helm. He's the one who's going to sign that bill. If you guys don't understand the importance of voting, then I don't know what to tell you. You see, all those Democrats and Republicans, a lot of those Democrats and Republicans are the J. They are that, in fact. We had politicians wear the IDF uniform in the Capitol so he could show his support. These politicians are bending over backwards to show how much they support Israel. They're doing everything they can to show that they are super loyal to Israel, not loyal to you, not loyal to the farmers who's losing all of their land, all of their crops, losing their businesses. Not loyal to black folks, obviously, as you can see what's happening. Not loyal to Latinos. Well, who does the American government care about? Because you can see they done covered everybody. They're terrorizing the Latinos. They're trying to dominate black-run areas to show their white dominance over black-governed areas. And they clearly don't give a fuck about the middle of America, the Rust Belt, white folks out there who's farming, who provides America with food. They clearly don't care about none of us. The same Democrats and Republicans, but right now it's the Republicans at the helm, right? So Republicans hold most of the responsibility for these actions. But I want you to remember those Democrats, right? Chuck Schumer, right? All the leading Democrats and all the leading Republicans, they are lockstep when it comes to supporting Israel and their genocide. And only Americans have the power to stop them. We need to primary all of them. We need to purge them from political power. We actually have the power to do it. The AIPAC and other lobbyists that are pro-Jew, right? Pro-Israel, pro-genocide, pro-corporate rule. They spend billions of dollars to put commercials in your face to convince you and brainwash you that the candidate they put in front of you is the best choice for you. While the candidate that's really the best choice for you doesn't have the budget to plaster themselves all over the internet to get their message out. It's time for us Americans, when it's come time for the midterms and when it comes time for the next presidential election, to not pay attention to the multi-billion-dollar propaganda commercials that they're going to slap in our face. If we see a politician that's been running our states and our states for more than 10, 11 years and you haven't seen any change, you need to get rid of them. And no more re-electing old geezers that already was a governor, already was a senator. We need a total purge of these traitors to America. Because clearly they don't care about nobody. They don't care about white folks. They don't care about black folks. They don't care about Latinos. They don't care about Asians. They don't care about nothing. They only care about Israel and Israel's well-being. That's the only thing they care about. None of these politicians, even the false festivity of these Democrats running around pretending like they're so appalled by what Donald Trump is doing. They're not appalled because they're making money. All right, all these old dictators we have in the Congress and in the House and in the Senate, they're all dictators. They're mini dictators. All of them somehow have become millionaires, but they don't have no businesses. All of them participate in insider trading. All of them have a stake in global affairs in their pockets. And then they come online, or they come to town halls, or they make commercials, and they pretend like they care about you. But clearly they don't care about you because you don't deserve universal health care. They will say in your face, you don't deserve health care. They'll say it in your face while giving it to the Israelis. They will, listen, they say it in your face. You don't deserve health care. You don't deserve a modern society. You don't deserve, but you do pay. We finance everything that's happening over there. We're financing. America is financing the genocide. History will tell the story that we all participated in this. If you pay taxes, you unwillingly participated in this. Imagine they are waving the Israeli flag in the American Capitol. They are declaring who they are truly loyal to. Benjamin Netanyahu, a war criminal, is allowed to prance around Washington, D.C. as much as he wants, with all the praise by all the politicians. But we, the American people, we can change it. We just have to have some wherewithal, some resolve. But that's the problem, because most of us get lazy. We give up. We think we can't do anything. But the fact is we can. Right now, they're gerrymandering as many states as they can in order to take away our power. Especially black people. They don't want us to have power because they know how influential we are. When black people decide, hey, this is what we're going to do, we're about to start this political revolution, everybody's going to follow along. They're trying to stop that. Donald Trump is currently setting it up so that he can declare martial law right before the midterm elections so that he can cancel elections. Everything that you see in the so-called third world countries, everything that you see when you talk about African, Asian countries with their corrupt politicians, it's all actively happening right now with zero tact. They're just doing it blatant, right in the open. And they know that American people are very complacent. And because they're so complacent, and because they're not politically educated, 90% of America is not politically educated. 90% of America thinks voting doesn't work. It's because they don't vote. It's because they don't make an educated vote. It's because they fall for all the TV propaganda because they're so easily susceptible to men in suits. Instead of looking at the policies that these people are promoting. So yeah, we live in the United States of Israel, and we need to purge. We need to purge all these old politicians. No senator or no congressman should have been there for 30, 40 years. We got politicians dying in office at 80, 90 years old. Look at these old people from the past. We got these old politicians from a foregone world controlling America, while the rest of the world moves on, while the rest of the world innovates, building modern infrastructure, creating different systems that's better for society, for the little guy, for the regular person, for the one that pays their salaries. So yeah, it's time for us to purge the United States of Israel. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Is Afro Think Tank. Learn something. Cheat some. I'm out.
Our government has officially passed a bill that will see that we pay for the healthcare and retirement pensions for all IDF soldiers currently in and also already retired. This is going to be better and higher quality than that of our own soldiers. You cannot make this stuff up, and it will be funded by you. And on top of that, because they're going to be taking care of all the money that was previously being spent on them by the Israeli government, now gets to go to the citizens of Israel, which means they get free healthcare. You can't make this up. This is ridiculous. And we have this all the while people in our own country don't have healthcare, aren't being taken care of, and we have homeless veterans. And we are actively paying for all of another country's. Can't make this stuff up. There's only one, when it's all about solutions, there's only one solution that I can think of at this current moment. I'm going to put up on the screen because I can definitely not say this on TikTok.
Israel's a miracle.
I stand with Israel.
I stand with Israel.
I stand with Israel.
I stand with Israel today and every day.
I stand with Israel.
I stand with Israel today, tomorrow, and every day after that.
Who matters more to Congress, Americans or Israel? I've been reporting from inside the U.S. Capitol ever since October 7th. and 3 recent insane episodes have shown me how inexplicably committed the US political machine on both sides of the aisle is to Israel, and how much disdain these politicians have for anything or anyone that gets in the way of that support, including Americans.
We stand with Israel. We stand with Israel. We stand with Israel.
First, in July, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is wanted by the International Criminal Court on war crimes charges, visited Washington, D.C. This was the 3rd time he visited D.C. since the anti-war Donald Trump was re-elected. Amid all the fanfare and revelry, I asked 7 Republican senators if they knew how many Americans had been killed in the past 21 months by the government they were sending blank checks to. Each senator either had no idea, did not believe me when I told them how many Americans had been killed, or simply had no interest in the question itself. Here's how Maine Senator Susan Collins responded.
No insight on the Americans killed by the Israeli military, Senator?
I am pro-Israel.
A U.S. senator was asked about U.S. citizens killed by a foreign country. She responded by saying she supports the foreign country. Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen responded that he did not know and that he hadn't even given it much thought.
Do you know how many Americans the Israeli military has killed in the past 21 months?
No.
Does that concern you?
I haven't even given much thought.
2 days later, Israeli settlers brutalized 20-year-old Palestinian American Saifullah Musallat. For hours, the settlers, as well as the Israeli military, blocked ambulances from reaching him and another Palestinian they attacked, who was named Mohammed al-Shalabi. Both of them were killed.
A U.S. citizen beaten to death by Israeli settlers.
Saifullah Musallat was only 20 years old.
Today, Saif Musallat's family is demanding an American investigation into his death.
After the killings, I reached out to the same 7 senators, giving them more information about the other American victims they all apparently didn't know about, and to ask for their reaction to the latest killing. None of them responded. And I didn't just approach these 7 senators, because earlier that week, there were 14 senators from both sides of the aisle who took a very chummy photo with Netanyahu. I wanted to know what they were thinking about the killing, too. Among the group was Democratic leader Chuck Schumer, as well as Amy Klobuchar, Adam Schiff, and Cory Booker. So I reached out to all 14 senators who, at the time, had not publicly commented on Saifullah, and I asked if they had any reaction to the killing, or what they would say to the leader they had just taken a photo with. None responded. In fact, most of Washington has remained silent. President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance hasn't said anything about it. It took 4 days for a senior-level Trump official to even make contact with Saifullah's family, or even to publicly comment on the killing. That comment was from U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, who condemned the killing, calling it a criminal and terrorist act. Huckabee, who has previously expressed staunch support for the settler movement, the annexation of the West Bank, and opposition to a Palestinian state, said he asked Israel to aggressively investigate the attack. Saifullah's father told me that Huckabee had called him just before that tweet, and that the ambassador said he met with Netanyahu and told him there must be justice for Saifullah. His father said Huckabee came across as genuinely concerned. But then the next day, Huckabee made the unprecedented decision to attend Netanyahu's criminal trial as a show of support for the man facing bribery and fraud charges. Afterwards, Netanyahu tweeted a public thank you to Huckabee for his support. One day, Huckabee apparently tells the leader of a foreign country that there must be justice for the killing of an American. But then the next day, Huckabee goes to that leader's trial to support him.
Mr. Ambassador, why did you decide to come today? Because I wanted to see what was happening. Why did you come?
This all is not to center Americans suffering over that of the tens of thousands of Palestinians killed by Israeli violence, nor the millions who have been displaced by it. But this is to underscore that there is, in fact, no bottom, even for the most cynical, self-interested parts of the US political machine. Israeli forces can bomb the only Catholic church in Gaza, the church that the late Pope Francis would call on an almost daily basis. They can strike clearly marked World Central Kitchen vehicles and kill 7 people, including a Canadian-American veteran and aid worker. They can kill Americans, journalists, peace activists, kids, and Palestinians at will. There is no bottom. A foreign government is committing an actual, ongoing genocide in plain sight. Meanwhile, the US press and political establishment are consumed with college campuses and a New York City mayoral candidate. Think about it this way. How much fear-mongering, cynical, and outright dishonest ink has been spilled on Columbia University or Zohran Mamdani? And then how much clear-eyed, critical, and truthful ink has been dipped about Israeli soldiers and settlers killing Americans and shattering the basic existence of millions of Palestinians? There is no bottom. It is inexplicable. Why are the media and politicians so transparently in the bag for a foreign government that seems to have no reciprocal respect? Why does this foreign government receive billions of US taxpayer dollars unconditionally, while money for the homeless, healthcare, food aid, public transportation, or helping others rather than bombing them is penny-pinched? Why are those who protest this reality vilified and kidnapped, while those who perpetuate it are rewarded? Why is it that politicians are able to look away as more than 58,000 people are killed, as more than 2 million lives are utterly and irreversibly changed? Why? This almost robotic commitment, shown clearly by a US senator saying, "I am pro-Israel," in response to a question about Americans killed by Israel, makes such a basic question all the more compelling. Hier ist kein Warum. There is no why here. That is what Primo Levi, a Holocaust survivor, wrote in his book, If This Is a Man. The phrase was said by a concentration camp guard, Levi wrote. It illustrated how, in the camps, there was no logic, no basic morality, that searching for an explanation of something so unexplainable is besides the point, because the questioner is denied a reason. They are not entitled to an explanation. Because to answer why is to dignify the question at all. It's to respect the skeptic as equally human, as worthy, as deserving of logic. It is to allow for the possibility of a why not. And as we can see, the people in power are not interested in answering that question, but they are more than willing to tell you who they stand with.
What is Citizens United? Citizens United versus the FEC was a 2010 Supreme Court decision that opened the floodgates to political spending by corporations. In the case, Citizens United, a conservative political action committee, claimed that limitations on their political spending was a violation of their right to free speech. In a 5-4 ruling, the court sided with the PAC and ruled that corporations and other special interest groups can spend unlimited money on elections. This ruling ignited a debate over the role corporations play in society. Are corporations people? The ruling was the catalyst for the rich to further seize the keys to the government. This wasn't the start of money mattering more than people in our democracy, but it expedited our slide into a system dominated by the wealthy and well-connected. We don't think the amount of money you have should determine how much of a say you have in our democracy.
I think Citizens United is one of the most damaging Supreme Court decisions that we've had in the modern era. And just to remind people what that is, in January of 2010, Justice Scalia said we can send unlimited amounts of money into the politics. It's your exercise of your First Amendment right. I think that's the Plessy versus Ferguson of our democracy. And so many, many years ago, the court ruled that you could have separate but equal facilities for blacks and whites. This was an unmitigated disaster for the country. It took 80 years to take that decision back through Brown versus the Board of Education, and we're in our 15th year of a separate but equal democracy. But the money is flowing against Trump right now. So when you go to K Street and you go to the lobbyists are getting paid by the corporations saying, hey, we got to stop Trump. We got to stop his tariffs. We got to stop his inane nonsense. We got to stop the militarism that could potentially happen. And you're seeing it now come out. Rand Paul is referencing it. Ted Cruz is referencing it. So we're going to stop Trump, and Trumpism is going to end. The question is, what do we do with the country after Trumpism has ended, and how do we knit back the country?
Why is AIPAC so controversial? Do you really want to take on AIPAC? This might be my only opening. Okay, strap in. The first thing that you need to understand is the difference between traditional lobbyist organizations and us. Most lobbyists are businesses that make money representing clients. But you found a loophole. AIPAC is an ideologically based lobbyist nonprofit that's funded by donors. Functionally similar to the NRA. It's just instead of being pro-firearms, you're pro-Israel? Nope, we are for the advancement of the US-Israeli relationship in ways that enhance security for both countries. Because representing a foreign government means that you'd have to register under FARA. Correct, and that would be bad. Should I really care that much about a government regulation? The thing is that we have extraordinary bipartisan influence over US politics, which is why you donate so much to re-election campaigns. But I mean, that's pretty common for lobbyists, right? Nope. We don't donate. We have a very unique relationship with our wealthy donors where if we tell them to support a candidate, they show up. Oh, because of the campaign contribution limits. Exactly. Our ability to wield our donors is how we fund campaigns, our super PAC, even a nonprofit that makes all of this possible that we'll talk about later, but they are the bread and butter of our power, which you use to shape Congress. We keep scorecards on different representatives, how you vote on things. If you piss us off, we will punish you. Oh, what, like ex-Mossad? Oh, no, we primary you. That can't be that effective, right? Especially if you're going after an incumbent. It is wildly effective. UDP spends more money in Democratic primaries than any other super PAC. Most of the time, if UDP backs a candidate, they win. Well, why are you so focused on Democratic primaries? Well, there seems to be a growing problem with anti-Semitism in progressive circles. Take, for example, Jamal Bowman or Andy Levin. Oh, right, I remember that. They were both critical of Israel, they supported conditions on aid. You backed both of their opponents and they both lost, but I can't find anything they said that was anti-Semitic. We never said they did. You just did. No, I didn't. We did the same thing during the election. We put out an ad talking about a rise in anti-Semitism, and then we asked viewers, are you going to stand up to Jamal Bowman? It's just a heavy insinuation. You asked why we're controversial, and I warned you about making this video. It kind of feels like you're weaponizing a really important word as a way to avoid accountability, which is then cheapening the word itself. Are you justifying anything bad towards us? Unequivocally, no. What I am saying is that I'm going to get plenty of that comment for trying to have a conversation that at its core is about an organization that looks like it might potentially be influencing our government on behalf of a foreign government. You love wading into controversial topics, don't you? Also, no, I hate making these videos. You have no idea how much diarrhea I get.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Wait. Before you go, for all my subscribers and philanthropists out there, I'm building a solar power community water bowl system in Nigeria. It's going to cost between $5,000 and $6,000. I'm trying to raise money. If you want to participate and help me build this solar power water system, please donate to the Cash App and put solar water in the notes. Solar water in the notes. I'll put PayPal, Stripe, and Zelle. Anyway, thank you. That's all I got to say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out. Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.